Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hanifa Sekalala, and today I'm gonna tell you a story. You know, my channel is all about stories, my personal stories. Today I'm gonna tell you about a story when I first started staying with my dad, living with my father. I came from my grandmother's place in Mukono, Kakukuru, and I started living with my father. My father was living in Mengo. My father wasn't living with a wife. He was living with my auntie and another lady and me. And apparently my auntie and this other lady, they were not doing anything in this house. I was the one that was taking care of everything. So I got a placement in Buganda Road. I started from Buganda Road in P4. And the first time I saw my dad, this is what he told me, because he had abandoned me. Remember, he had told my mother he wasn't my father. So after a time, after so many years, because I saw my father again when I was about 10, 12. So from my childhood until then, I had never seen my father. So but the first time I saw him, he sent somebody to come and get me from the village. So when he took me in, this is the first thing he told me. We don't joke here. I did not bring you here to baby you and do all this. So you're going to be doing the housework. You go bring water, you cook, you clean, you do everything. And every time there is anything wrong, you will have me to answer to. I said, okay. Nothing nice, oh, I'm happy to see you, or anything like that. So as soon as I saw my dad, I knew that this was going to be a war. He never ever was close to me, like, hello, what, long, I've never seen you before, what do you like? Nah. He just told me, this is what's gonna happen, this is what you're gonna do. I was like, it was like a job employment, like a job, how you go to the job and they start to give you induction. That's how it was. They were inducting me in this house. So as I live in there, I got a placement in Buganda Road Primary School. So my dad had a car, but he never woke up in the morning to take me to school. I had to walk from Mengo to Buganda Road, and it was quite far. Not quite, really far. So I had to wake up very early, clean up the house, wash up the plates, and then go to school. I wasn't given anything to carry to school, like breakfast or anything, or lunch. Nah. They were at school, they were giving us posho and beans for lunch. So I was depending on that. I never had any breakfast or anything like that. And my father never gave me any money. So there was a shop at the front of and I used to go and borrow things from there, and I would tell them my dad would pay. But I knew that that day he finds out that I have debts on that shop collecting things from there, he was going to kill me, because I saw the attitude that he had given me the first time. So the first year was rocky. I was always by myself. I didn't make so many friends. I did not speak a lot of English because I was coming from a village school, so I couldn't relate with lots of the kids. Buganda Road is a very lovely school. It was a nice school by the time I was there. So I could not understand most of the things that children were saying, so I just kept to myself. And there was this boy, he was called Kalema. I'll never forget him. Bless his heart, Kalema died. He had sickle cells. He died when I was in P6. Kalema was my friend. We used to sit on the same row, and I used to sit close to him. Kalema used to he used to have juice, cakes, what like kids have. He brought all these things to school, and he would keep for me some. Sometimes I came late and I was being punished almost every other day. I was being beaten up at my school that I went to. Every time you got to school late, they had to beat me up. But I had to wake up early to get water for my dad, make sure my dad had warm water, to put it on the stove, then get him water, then clean up the house, and then run for miles to get to my school. By the time I went back home, I did not get time to wash my uniform because I had lots of things to do. And then when I got time to wash my uniform, I go to school wet, in a wet uniform. So there was no way I was always clean. I was always dirty. I was all muggy and stuff. And when I go to school, my uniform is wet or very dirty. I got punished for that. I got beaten up every day. They were asking me, oh, can you bring your dad to school or this? And then I told him they are calling you in school. He never turned up anyway. He knew something was wrong. My father was very detached from me. We never talked about anything. I never looked in my father's eyes like that. You know, when he was talking to me, I was looking down. Everything that went wrong in this house, he used to beat me up. Everything. I grew up a very, very bitter child. I started to hate my father as soon as I saw him. I knew this man is no good. Every time he came back, Hanifa, why is this here? Slap in my face. Very early on, I got to understand that I'm going to live a very difficult life in my father's house. So that is how it was. And I went to school, came back, cleaned up. That's routine went on like that. Had to walk to go to the shops, buy meat, come back, make dinner. I would sleep very late, wake up very early, clean up, run to school dirty. My uniform couldn't get washed because I didn't have the time. So teachers used to wonder, do you have a mother? Yes, I did have a mother, but I didn't know where my mother was. Do you have a father? Yes, I have a father, but he's a very busy person. I did tell him that you need to talk to him. He just told me to. He didn't even say nothing to me. He just passed by me and went on with his business. So there's nothing that I can do. So teachers try to talk to anyone from my home, because I was always sad. I never had anything to eat. I was always, if Karima didn't give me anything for breakfast, I would starve from morning until lunchtime, which was around 1 p.m. So I would go make that line, get that posho and beans into me. Then I would go back to the evening classes. So this went on for a long time. And then from school, I would walk back home. My father would pass by me in his car we are going in the same direction. He would see me like that and he would leave me. You know why he left me on the road? Because he wanted to get there first, and then he would beat me asking me where I have been. And he knew exactly where I've been because I've been walking. He passed by me. I resented my dad. Hate is a strong word, but I hated my father. The thing that I looked forward to was holidays, because when I got my holidays, I would go to my grandfather's place. Then there I would be loved, at least I would be cared for, at least I would have everything to eat all the time. At least we had breakfast, lunch and dinner like normal people do by my father's house. I didn't get the opportunity to get things like that. And he wasn't poor, he was a middle class person, because he was living in a nice house even though we were renting the house. He had a job, he had a car. Back where I come from in Uganda, that is a pretty much middle class people life. It's good. He could afford to pay my fees, he could afford to do everything for me, but he just chose not to. I didn't have knickers. I would have like one knicker I had about 3 knickers for the whole year. Get this one off, change it the other way in, then put it on, then wash it at night, put it on wet. It would wet my whole dress down. I didn't have a pretty childhood growing up. So that piece of my life, that was my primary school, was quite difficult for me. But I couldn't wait to leave, because I asked my dad. I did not have any conversations with my father face to face. What I could do, I could tell my grandmother or my grandfather, please tell my dad that I want to come and live with you permanently, because I did not want to stay with my father. And my father would tell them. Then when I got back home, my father would tell me, why did you tell them you wanted to stay there? Because you don't want to work, eh? You don't want to do the housework in this house. That's why you want to stay at your grandfather's place, because you know there's nothing to do. At my grandfather's place, there was a lot of work to do, but it was fun. There were lots of kids. We had things to do. But in my father's house, I had to do, like I was a maid in my father's house. Work. When he came back, I would hear the car from outside and my heart would go boom. would know now he's back. I'll shut my mouth. I will not talk again. I would know something is going to happen. He is going to beat me for something that I did or I didn't do. I just knew it. I was miserable. But I soldiered through anyway. I soldiered through. That went on until when I got raped. If anybody has watched my before video, until when I was raped and my father beat me, he nearly killed me, calling me all kind of names, prostitute, what, he beat me, and I nearly lost this eye because it all became red inside. After that, he decided that I could go to a boarding school or something after that ordeal of me being raped and him beating me to near death. He decided that a boarding school would be good for me so that I don't have to keep trekking from place to place, places like that. So I went to a boarding school. I'm going to have to do another video. This one has to end here now because it's a bit long. So thank you for listening to me. Subscribe, like this video, share this video, and keep listening because I have more juicy stories coming on. Thank you.